True horror with Wolf and a Mummy.
One thing about living in Santa Carla I never could stomach. All the damn vampires.
Frights, camera, action. And welcome back to True Horror with a Wolf and a Mummy. I can redo that.
Well, today we have a great, fantastic, amazing movie, as always.
Yes.
This one was requested by
Josh Gunnan. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, bud. So, this film today is one of the great vampire movies.
Yeah, of the 80s.
Of the 80s. The Lost Boys. Yes. Love Lost Boys.
Love it. It was so good.
It's 80s for sure.
Yeah.
That, I mean, you got mullets.
The hair.
There's
hair everywhere. How much hairspray do you think they used?
I think they had multiple people just as a hairspray.
Yeah. Like, I would love to see the cans they collected, the aerosol spray cans.
That's what started the pollution for now.
So this was such a fun movie. We thought last night, you know what? Let's watch it together. Let's rewatch this classic.
Mm-hmm.
We watched it for the first time together. So let's continue that tradition. It is Halloween season. It is upon us.
That's true.
We are so excited. Oh my gosh.
Best time of the year.
Oh yes.
So we watched the movie.
Yeah.
And
it starts off great.
Oh,
the music's fantastic. You're immediately sucked in.
Immediately sucked in.
Yeah.
And we were watching it. The music is unbelievable. You hear it and you're like, oh, this is so exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not scary. It's just like exhilarating. Like you hear that and you're like, oh, I know.
Yeah.
We're watching a vampire
movie. It is
movie.
a little bit scary, like to me.
Is it? I guess it kind of is.
I guess maybe watching it for the first time it's not scary, but like hearing it, like knowing the road you're about to go down.
Thou shalt not.
Like I don't know, it just like
kind of sexual too.
Yes, maybe that's
especially when he's like drinking the bottle and he's just like
that montage is like.
It's funny.
I want you to do that montage.
Insert montage here. So it goes into it.
Yeah.
Starts off on a Ferris wheel.
And when you think of a vampire movie, that's exactly where you think it's gonna start. You know, not a hotel.
But you know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, there was a Ferris wheel in that too.
Because Buffy the Vampire is based on this movie.
No way.
I swear.
There it is.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day. That's crazy.
That's where they got their inspiration, was this movie. So there's a lot of references back to this movie.
So we're watching this, and you see it, and starts on the Ferris wheel, and it's really weird because it's like, Kim, why is everyone on this Ferris wheel an adult?
Yeah, like there's not a single kid. Like,
I get it's nighttime, but like every theme park, even at night, there's kids.
Yeah, you take your kids, like, because I have very pale children, so we like tend to do things later in the day because I'm like, we're gonna get sunburnt, so we'll go later at night. So people do take their children out at night.
But there wasn't a single child.
Not in this made-up town.
No. And like all the vampires are hanging out on it, and like the gangs, and they're fighting like Ferris wheel time.
And that was just, it did not make, my brain was like, this does not make sense.
I know. We were like, we gotta look this up.
Yeah, like why? And so it turns out this movie is not supposed to be about gorgeous young models. It's supposed to be about little kids. Like it was like the Goonies. It was meant to be like the Goonies. So that scene would have made so much more sense
with little kids walking around than like people in their 20s and 30s. Like
model pose. Model pose.
Get on the Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Wind blowing in our hair.
And they looked so scared to be vampires.
Yeah.
Like if a security guard was like, get off, I'd be like, show my fangs and be like, you get off. But they were like, okay, man, sorry.
Whoa, bro. Keep riding. You get an extra ride. Won't even charge you.
I love it. It was just so fun.
That's crazy.
It made no sense.
Did it? So we watched this whole thing, and you know, we're writing notes of like, oh, we should talk about this, talk about that, and I've got Kim's notes here, And I was like, okay, because she was riding him, and I was just saying random things. And I was like, okay, Kim, so here's one of her notes. It says, Grandpa's truck. And I was like, okay. It's like, so what? Let's talk about it. Like, so what do you have about that? What's so crazy about it?
Just liked it.
She liked it. It's a cool truck, though. I love that
The
truck.
horn was neat. I don't know.
Those are some good notes.
It was just...
People never knew about that.
Thank God we watched True Horror with a little bit of Mummy.
Yeah, I learned so much.
That truck.
That was a cool truck.
Oh, God.
Well, if we want to talk about it, let me think. Okay, so at the end, when the grandpa kills the head vampire by driving the truck through the house,
Yeah.
he built those spikes that day before.
Uh-huh.
And...
Which I thought was weird.
Or like 2 days before.
Yeah. Like, why would they show him fixing a fence, you know?
Yeah, and it's got spikes on it, and he's putting it in there. But then when he drives through it, these spikes go perfectly into the guy. Mm-hmm. Did he know that he was going to drive through it, and that was going to shoot him out? Or did he pick him up, put him on his truck, know he's going to drive through, and they were going to go perfectly into him? His grandson and daughter's in there. Those spikes could have easily shot right through them.
I know.
Was he thinking? What's going on?
Yeah.
Thoughts, concerns.
I mean, there's a lot of... I just feel like it was just plot holes.
I wanted something more.
I know. There's so much...
Strategic. Well, there's got to be some kind of strategic, right?
Yeah. Well, because there's so many theories on Grandpa. Like, some people believe that he's a vampire slayer. A lot of people are like, because he's lived there so long and he knew that there was vampires. Like, it wasn't just that Grandpa like was driving and mistaken the gas for the brakes, and it was all an accident because he was like, too many vampires. Did they make Lost Girls, or were they just thinking about it? They
should have made Lost Girls.
Or maybe they just thought about it. The Lost Girls.
And there's just one girl in it.
Yeah.
And she wasn't even supposed to be in it.
So I was so intrigued by this. I love like making connections and stuff. And so there was David the vampire, and then there was Star, and I was like, the Star of David, because obviously he doesn't like her. Like, he doesn't.
They're not trying to date.
Yeah, they're no romantic connections, but he's very possessive of her. Like, he's like, get on, Star. Like, when they're on the motorcycle, the Star of David, and she's like luring people in.
I think she was a lurker.
Yeah.
Or lure.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna look it up because there's got to be the Star of David, and I'll look it up. I'm so excited. No, there's nothing. Star was originally supposed to be a little boy, like, and there was no romantic interest. So I just went down that rabbit hole for nothing. So Edgar and Alan, there was a connection there because they're supposed to be Edgar Allan Poe.
I'm a frog boy. I'm Poe.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't put him in there, because I'm Poe.
You're Poe. I love it.
I'm a frog brother for sure.
Yeah. You just weren't born yet, so they couldn't add you. They knew you were coming. Like, it was in the script. It was in the script. There's nobody perfect for this.
The later on movies, the other frog brother, Edgar, is still a vampire slayer, and Alan is a vampire. Gets turned.
Ooh.
And it's real sad, and like,
Lots of siblings turning on each other.
Yep.
I love this movie because it brought us the two Coreys together for the first time. And if you know me, you know I'm obsessed with Coreys. And I even married one.
That's the only reason from this movie.
Only reason. I was I was obsessed with Corey Matthews from Boy Meets World. I mean, if there was a Corey, I'm obsessed. So.
Yeah, she only swims at Corey's.
Yeah. Rock Court. Is a Rock Corey? Is that just delete that? Is that why it's called a quarry? Because it's in a rock quarry? Like, when you swim there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just delete all that. Please don't put that in. I say delete
I'm
that.
putting it in.
And you're like, yeah, I'll take
Still putting that in.
It always goes back in.
So another funny, interesting note. Kim's got big watch. Just on the wall. It was a comment. I was like, oh, did you see that big watch? It's pretty big. Throw it in there. So let's talk about it.
That was a huge...
Talk about this on the... Okay, so here's the big one.
This is the reason we are doing this movie today.
Exactly.
Is for this exact... Josh brought it up and was like, sorry. I got excited.
Oh no, please do get excited. This is the most exciting part of the whole freaking thing. The saxophone player.
The saxophone player?
The sexy phone
The
player.
saxophone player. So we're watching the movie last night, and I'm cheap, and so I was like, I couldn't find it, so I was like, we'll just watch it on YouTube. And so we're watching it, and then all of a sudden it cuts to the saxophone player, and I was like, oh, we must have skipped. Like, it must not be in the right order, because you're just watching the movie. You're just living life in this vampire world, and then all of a sudden he's there in your face. Like, you're not, they don't warn you. They don't, it's just, he's there. Like,
Yeah. I mean, he's a good looking guy.
Ooh.
Looked up, still good looking guy.
yeah, yeah.
He's still got the muscles. He's an old man. He's killing it.
So we talked about how much hairspray they used. How much body oil do you think they used on
He used
him
a lot.
for that? And you were talking about like how much they were jamming out.
They were
these
rocking
people,
to this
like,
saxophone. They were like,
going hard. It's like crazy. It didn't make sense.
and it's just so interesting
Yeah.
that he's in it. I think he's one of the most iconic
Yeah.
parts of this movie.
There's still memes to this. I see them daily. Like, people still making memes about this guy. Like,
That's hilarious. And so with that, Kim looked up and found that he is a vampire slayer.
yeah, in the comic books, I think it's like We Believe is his name, or his Slayer name. Like,
That's hilarious.
yeah, he slayed women also.
You think so?
I think so.
With a saxophone? That's how he lured him in. He's like, what are those called that sing? The siren.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a siren.
Yeah,
Saxophone siren.
yeah.
That's a movie right there.
So there's so many different death kills in this movie. The first one being that they just go in the cave and they kill the guy from
Alex
Bill.
Winters.
Yeah,
I love him.
I'm glad you know his name, because it was like the guy from Bill and Ted. Like,
In the thing, it's Alexander Winters.
uh-huh.
But when I worked with him, he was Alex Winters. I don't know why.
Because I can tell you why. So the director in this film was like, I don't want it to be Alexander Winters because it's so long. It takes up too much space, so you need to go ahead and change it in the union. And he changed it, but he didn't get it changed in time, so it still said Alexander.
Oh, wow.
And the director was like, "God, didn't." So that's why it got changed.
That name.
Aren't you glad you have me for a sister for that exact reason? The only reason.
I wouldn't know what to do. I couldn't sleep at night, just wondering, like, why?
Why was his name longer?
Anyways,
Yeah, so that was the first kill, was him, which was sad because, like, he was my favorite vampire. I mean, I liked the little boy too, but I mean, he was safe.
he was half too.
Yeah, he was so cute. This little
And the second kill
is in the bathtub. This is where I got confused, and it explains it in the movie, but at first I was confused because the head vampire comes in and nothing's working on him. It's so different. Every movie is different for, like, how things work. So, and I try to remember all of it, so when vampires do invade my house, I will remember all the rules. But I was like, why is it working on him and it wasn't working on the head vampire? Like the garlic and the holy water and stuff. And you told me because they weren't invited in. They came down the chimney, Santa Claus style.
Yeah, all of them can get killed by garlic, and they're not seen in the mirror.
Yeah.
But everything else, say about it in, like, it's gonna get used on them for sure. I didn't know that it had been so long since I watched this.
I know, yeah.
I didn't know if that was the case, but I just knew he got invited in. So
They didn't.
and they didn't. They're getting killed. It's working on him. There is sometimes the head vampire is stronger.
Yeah.
And in that case, you know, like a lot of other things that usually work on a normal vampire won't work on him. But I just assumed the whole, like, invited in had to do a little bit more with it. And it had been so long I didn't remember, but I was like, I think that's the reason why
Yeah.
they get killed by holy water and garlic.
Does it have to be in this movie or any movie? Does it have to be the man of the house, or can it be anybody? Like, can my kids invite?
Yeah, yeah. As long as you live there, I think. Even homeless people, probably their tents, like, you know, like, come on in. Well, now you're just a little You're screwed, man. But yeah, I would like to think it doesn't. Vampires aren't sexist, and you know, like you can be the woman of the house. You know, like what if you bought that house and you were just
Right.
a lesbian? You know, like
Yeah.
I would really hope that it works.
Yeah, he just the head vampire was like, "You're the man of the house now, so invite me in." I guess it was just a lure, a way to like
Mess with them.
say, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let me come in the house. So another question I had, and I will get back to topic. I just go off on these side tangents. They took holy water and then they took garlic and they mixed it together and they put it in water guns and they put it in the water. Does that make the holy water stronger when you mix it with garlic?
I would assume it would be more potent.
Uh-huh.
And it, like I said, it varies with every movie. Like
Yeah.
sometimes garlic doesn't work or holy water doesn't work.
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes silver works.
yeah,
You can,
like Blade, the silver, and then he would
True
shoot himself
Blood.
up with garlic.
Yeah. I mean, that's why before, like when I was dating, before I went on a date, I would eat a lot of garlic. Because if they were a vampire, they wouldn't, get me. It also deterred a lot of people away. So maybe it was like...
Well, I think what it was you were like a halfling, like Blade.
Yeah, yeah.
You were a vampire,
Mhm.
and you just ate so much garlic, it just like kept you at bay.
Right. Because like they were going through questions. He calls the Frog Brothers and he was like, here's the list of questions. Does he sleep all day? Well, yeah, as a teenager, heck yeah, I slept all day. Does he not like sunlight? Well, yeah, I didn't like sunlight. I'm pale as a freaking ghost. Does her
I was
breath
noticing
stink?
these things.
Yeah, I eat garlic, and when I wake up in the morning, my breath is awful. So I feel like if you had called the Frog Brothers, they would be like, yeah, your sister's definitely a vampire.
We're
You
gonna
need to kill her.
Yeah.
So thank God you didn't kill me.
Yeah.
But yeah. So the second kill was in the bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
The third kill was death by stereo.
Death
Death by stereo.
Death by stereo.
and a bow.
Yeah.
For one, it's really a death blow.
Yeah.
Death bow.
Death blow bow.
Death
Yeah,
blow bow?
It was both.
Blah blah. But I just love that it's like it reminds me of Back from the Future when like he plays the guitar so loud and then it just like explodes and
Yeah.
like all the stuff goes on and it's just like so it's really cool when the vampire is just getting
Yeah.
just catching on fire. I'm curious if the fire killed him or the bow. Right before he shoots the bow, he's like, "You missed," and he's like, "Only once." Like,
You miss, sucker.
Once, pal.
I think it was the bow because remember David catches his arm on fire and so he's like crying a little bit when it happens. That was a real tear.
was it?
Yeah, his contacts were messing with him so much that he was really crying and they were like, it fits. Keep it.
He's emotional.
Yeah.
He's just the older brother. He's just looking out. His little brother just died.
Yeah.
He's got slain.
Finding out this movie was made for little kids and not grown-up models made so much more sense because
Yeah.
he was like, when the lead vampire was like, my boys needed a mom. Really? Your grown model men needed a mom? Like, it made so much more sense knowing that the plot was supposed to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that does make sense. So, the second kill.
Yeah.
That one's really cool. The Frog Brothers take all the credit, but it was the amazing little doggy that made it happen. We have a little Australian Shepherd Border Collie, and he reminds me of that husky. I think if a vampire came into our house, our dog would probably still want to play with it instead of like protect us, which is cool, whatever, But I learned in that movie that if you kill a vampire in your house, it is a realtor's nightmare or a new homeowner. I just bought a house. I've dealt with plumbing. God forbid I kill it in the shower or bathtub. I was just so concerned. I was so like more upset and sad. Not that they were like getting chased by vampires, but like, Jesus Christ, it's going to take so long to clean that. The toilet exploded. The sink exploded. Water's just flying out all in the kitchen. I was like, oh my God, it's going to take me forever to clean that if that was me. That's what I was thinking the whole time.
So it's the difference between watching Lost Boys when you're a kid and watching it when you're an adult. When you're an adult, you're like, how are you going to clean that house?
I know. I was like, man. And they like broke the side, like the handle up to the stairs. And I was like, oh man, that was like this beautiful wood like paneling. Like, oh my gosh, I hope they can fix that. And then the grandpa drives through the like wall, and I was like, oh my gosh. It's gonna take them forever to fix this house.
I know. And the house was great. The decor, when they walk into the house, they reference Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which we did last week.
Yeah, that's my decor for sure.
Yeah, and they were like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre decor. And I was like, oh, that's Wolf's house.
That's my house. I want that cabin that they have. I would love it.
Yes. It's awesome.
And I was thinking, like, man, they just killed the head vampire, so she just lost her job. So I don't know how they're going to afford her to do all of these fixes and changes. I want a movie about that. I want it to be like, the vampire just died.
Yeah.
Everything's good, and it's like, crap, okay, well, he was my boss.
My lover.
My lover. And then, like, how do you go to therapy after that? And then what do you say? Like, my lover was a vampire. Like, do they put you in the insane asylum for stuff like that? Mm-hmm. So let's say I need a therapist.
Yeah.
I'm not in an insane asylum.
Well, I can help you with this.
There you go. Exactly. So I think that I know my wife was a vampire. Mm-hmm. I go to get counseling, and I'm like, my wife was a vampire and I killed her. Mm-hmm. Did they put me in the insane asylum? How does it work?
So you wouldn't immediately go, like, say you were my patient and you were telling me these things, I wouldn't immediately be like, insane asylum. You go into an insane asylum, like, immediately if you're like threatening, like saying like, I'm gonna kill my wife today because she's a vampire, then I'm like, hello. That's when you immediately go into
what if I said I killed my wife because she was a vampire
then
already?
Okay, then we got to do a little more, like, we might like try to keep you there as long as we can until we can investigate, like, you know, what's going on. So I would get back up and be like, we need to keep him here because we can't legally like detain you. But yeah, definitely you're gonna get the place is gonna get called. And
wow. So don't tell anyone if you kill a vampire. Nobody. They'll turn to dust anyways. Yeah. But not in that movie, actually. He kills David, and David's just chilling. Goo. And he even moves his ring.
Yeah.
He's like,
oh, yeah. I was thinking the first guy turned to goo, but that's because he was in the tub.
The second guy.
Oh, yeah, the second guy. Yeah.
The first guy did, like, spew out and stuff.
Because he was like, look, I've got him on me.
Yeah. David got spiked, too. And just a glow of light, like he was going to Jesus. Yeah. And then it just fades away, and that's it.
And then later he, like, turns his head. Mm-hmm. It's just... They said in the blood in the movie had glitter in it to make it sparkle.
Oh, okay. It was the first Twilight?
Yeah.
Is that where they got their ideas?
Yeah, well, I mean, they were gorgeous. They were sparkly blood.
It's funny, and I guess because I'm a guy, but I'm like, they weren't that good looking, but I think a lot of people think they're like the sexy vampires.
Yeah, I mean, because if it was the 80s, yeah, I think I would have been like, not to downplay Alex.
Yeah, yeah.
But, I mean, because he was kind of like a kid in that movie. But the other guys were like, I mean, Michael, he was a supermodel.
Was he really?
No, I mean, I don't know. Oh. I just meant like...
He was a world supermodel.
Like, he was good looking.
Yeah.
Which he was just a half vampire. But...
And, I mean, the girl was gorgeous.
She was beautiful.
I think, did she do anything after that? She's cute. She's a cutie patootie.
She was.
The mom wasn't. Yeah. Mom was like, whatever. She was no. Anyways, when I watch this movie, oh my God, I can't believe I'm admitting this. But when I watch the movie, I think of Gilmore Girls because the guys.
The whole time, that's all I thought of was the Gilmore Girls.
The lead vampire is the grandpa in Gilmore Girls.
Was he in Overboard as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just imagine him being like, don't fruity, clang, clang, clang.
Yeah. And I want y'all to know I'm not like a huge Gilmore Girls fan. Just watched it. But Sam from Supernatural, he's in it.
I was an OG Gilmore Girl fan. Like, me and my mom, I don't know if you remember. Mm-hmm. We would watch it.
When you and mom watched it, I was like, I'm going to go outside and play.
Yeah.
But it was cool in Supernatural. They go to the Gilmore Girls set and there's a little like funny skit with him and Sam, and
It's
like I
funny.
don't know, they like look at him. I don't know, it's funny.
I love
But anyways,
Supernatural.
we're not here to talk about Gilmore Girls
Or Supernatural.
or Supernatural. We can do that later. I've seen them all of them.
I know.
Supernatural, super. So this movie,
Yeah. Okay, I get confused. It takes place in Santa.
Yeah, I think it's based in Santa Cruz.
Okay, it takes place in Santa Clara, which is not real,
Hmm.
but it's beside Santa Cruz.
Yeah, I think it's
location-wise.
I think it's based on Santa Cruz.
Okay, so they keep the whole movie. They do good about these missing posters because they're just you never
Everywhere.
You never know. There's gonna be a scene and you're gonna see that missing poster.
Yeah.
So they do really good at like showing that it is the murder capital of the world. They bring that up a lot, but the real place, Santa Cruz, really was the murder capital of the world in the 1970s.
That's crazy.
They had a mass shooter and then 2 serial killers in the 70s. So people
Wow.
were just dying there. They don't like to be known for that, but that's why.
That is wild. I love the line where he's like, "Grandpa, is this really the murder capital of the world?" And he goes, "Well, if everybody that's dead decided to wake up, we would have a population problem."
I love that guy. He's in our trailer. I think he's in our trailer.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! So the whole time, that's all I can. I wanted him to like
Just say, "Hell
that.
yeah! Hell yeah!"
Grandpa's is the murder capital of the world. Hell yeah! Just kept waiting for it.
So with it being the murder capital of the world,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a great place. It reminds me of like 30 Days of Nights,
Yeah.
which is a great place to go as a vampire because there is a month of nighttime.
Yeah.
And same place, if I was a vampire or some kind of creature, go to where everyone's dying the most,
Mhm.
not even notice.
Yeah. Like there's.
It's good cover.
Yeah. Or if you just want to be a serial killer.
Yeah, if you want to be a serial killer too, it's like, oh, so
Well, let's go to
the
murder
homies
capital.
are here.
Yeah. Let's go there.
Do you think? Oh, that is the case. It's interesting that to find a serial killer, it's easier if you were a serial killer. That's how they did it in FBI,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
FBI talked to a lot of serial killers to
Oh,
find
yeah.
serial killers.
Mm. There's
Mind
Treated-
hunters.
yeah. Oh, so good. So
So
good. And that had Ed Kemper in it, who is one of the serial killers from the 1970s.
Wow.
Yeah. It's full circle.
Full circle, guys. Ed Kemper. He's the one with glasses.
Yeah, he's real tall.
They casted him really
Oh,
well.
they did so good in that
I like
movie,
saw
that
pictures
show.
and him and yeah.
Mhm. Oh, God, I could eat that show.
Did you watch the second one
The
Season
second
2?
season?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
when it was based in Atlanta?
Uh-huh.
That was really cool. And since you live in Atlanta or near it,
Yeah. Thanks for coming, by the way, down to Atlanta.
hey guys. We did a commercial here, and Kim and her husband Corey and the kids were the stars for this. It's like for this dog commercial, but
That's fun.
we're like, we gotta do the podcast while we're here too.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
And it's spooky season.
Spooky season.
So excited. Guys, you just even know. I got called Wolf 12 a.m. October 1st. It's October 1st. You had a
It's
party.
At a party, we watched horror movies. We watched Slumber Party Massacre on the big screen. I have put a projector outside and put trees and just turned on classic rock horror
Uh-huh.
songs and just had the movie playing with no sound. Just have that music going.
Oh.
You just have kills
So you had a
and stuff.
great ambiance.
Oh, and you know what? I would love to talk about this.
Yeah, yeah.
So, it's anniversary of a horror movie I did last year called Dying to Skate.
Mm-hmm.
It's about these skateboarders that go out in the woods and there's a creature, and it's all based in the 80s. And I decided to show it while I had everyone there, and I made a serious one, and then I took everyone's first takes and made like a comedy because they hadn't acted before. This is like the first time most of them had ever acted because they're real skateboarders and not actors. So before they got trained or was directing their acting and helping them learn, okay, try it this way, try it that way, their first takes were so funny because they had never acted before. So I decided to take that and make that into a film too. So then there's a serious one and a comedy one. And I show the first serious one. I'm like, hey guys, we're going to watch the serious one first. And everyone loved it. And they were like, it's a great movie. We show the comedy. And some of the scenes that I didn't change, didn't do any music to differently, did nothing, put it in the comedy one. They watched it and they were laughing at those scenes. And it was just so intriguing to me because they didn't laugh when I said, okay, this is the serious one. Put the some of the same exact scenes in that, and they were just dying out laughing at that. And it intrigues me so much of like a dynamic of reading the room
how
and
appropriate things are.
So I guess they felt more comfortable to laugh at these things, or they're like, oh, this is supposed to be so fun, this is funny. Before they were like, oh wow, that's good, and now they're like, oh my god, that's the funniest thing. And I was like, y'all just watched this and didn't laugh or think that was funny. I don't know, the psychology of that is very interesting.
Oh my gosh, yes. And this was a group of people that a lot of them didn't know each other. So it wasn't like y'all were a core group and y'all kind of thought the same things were funny. And
There's a lot of different people that didn't even know each other, first time meeting. It was all like, I'm thinking there's probably like 20 something people there that only a couple of them knew each other. And most of them hadn't even seen this movie.
And they do a lot of psychological studies on it. Like, they'll take a group of people and they'll put an answer on the board that says, like, 2 + 2. And they're like, what's the answer? And everybody will be like, 5, 5, 5. And so it gets to the next person and they want to say 5 because everybody, like, literally everybody else.
So they know something, but they know it's 4, but like, they're like, I guess it's 5.
Yeah, like, they're questioning themselves, like, maybe I didn't see something, and so they'll say 5 even though they know that it's 4. So it's like you said, reading the room. And so when knowing
100%, I showed my friend Jeremy 2 days before. I just showed it to him because he had never seen it, and then he watched it that night on the big screen. And he came up to me and he was like, that was so funny, what did you change from when you showed me till now? And I was like, nothing. Like, it was just, he was like, but it was so much funnier this time. And it's like, it's the same exact thing, I'm telling you. And I love that it was originally just a serious movie, and this year it won Best Comedy in the film festival circuit, and it's just, I love that.
I love the psychological aspects of horror movies because, like, you've really got to know that, especially as a director, like, knowing, like, what scares people, like, when to add the horror sound, when to, like, when...
It changes the whole dynamic. You could put a horror movie and put some comedy music into it, and it is 100% a comedy.
Like, I love watching those. It's people and they'll take a movie and they'll make it like into a horror movie. Like, I last year watched the Santa Claus, and so I got on Facebook and I just wrote out the plot to the Santa Claus. So I was like, this is me and my kid's favorite Christmas movie, but I made it sound like a horror story, and people are like, you're sick. And then I was like, it was the Santa Claus.
What is it? It's like he killed...
I was like, a man and his son murder another man and he steals his identity. He abducts his son. Like, I just went into this whole thing and people were like, oh my god, you're so weird. And I was like, it's the Santa Claus. But if you just take, aspects out of it, it's very interesting.
How do you feel about them doing the remake of Lost Boys?
So I'm gonna go jump on this train of, like, I Feel the Room.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I'm just going to go and jump off a bridge. I'm just going to go off and jump off a bridge because screw that.
Well, they jumped off, they jumped off the bridge.
They did jump off. I would do that, by the way. If I would hold on to something and just, like, I think I've done that before.
How are your siblings?
It'd be so much fun.
That is my fear. Oh god. So if one mom was like, if your friends jump off a bridge, would you? I'd be like, no. And you would be like, yeah, I did it last night.
I jumped off and then my friends just did it too.
You kind of are the leader. Like, you'll just follow you. And I'm more like, oh god, kids, get back. Watch out.
Hey, don't follow me. I got a parachute. No.
That's hilarious. hilarious. Yeah, but I'm gonna jump on and fill the room and say I really am not excited. But goodness gracious, the internet's not excited.
Great balls of fire.
Like, the casting seems great, you know.
That's what I'm excited about, since they got the kid from It, the main character, and they have the son from A Quiet Place. I feel like when you do that, it's going to be good. If you get a good all-star cast, they're going to have typically a pretty good script.
So are they going original? Like, going to be, like, younger kids, like Goonies style, like how it's supposed to be?
Maybe
Are there
so.
going to be mullets? Is it going to be, like, we got to insert some of those memes in where people are just, they are upset. Like,
It would be
people are not
awesome
happy.
if they still set it in the 80s. I would
Yeah.
love that. That'd be
Oh,
really
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. I think one great part about this movie was the beginning, all the, like, creepy, strange people in it. Like,
People are strange,
Okay, and-
when you're a stranger.
so Jim Morrison, that's who sings that, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me. So Jim Morrison, they freaking love him in this movie. His music's in it. There's that big Jim Morrison picture in the cave.
Hannah made a good point, and he looks like Jim Morrison.
Michael.
Michael, yeah, they have a picture like side by side. It like blends in, and it looks just like Jim Morrison.
So I wonder, like, that was, I just kept thinking about that. But the people are strange part, like, they had too many people show up. There was, like, hundreds of thousands of people.
Oh, really?
show up,
And I liked the ones they picked. I liked the girl licking the mouse or rat. It was funny.
It's
funny.
Disturbed me.
That's what's great about it. You don't want, oh, that was so sweet and cute. Like, if it was a puppy, it'd be like, okay, that's not strange. Do you agree? Was it strange? People are strange?
It was so strange.
There you go.
They did good casting. Like, they had some normies, which, you know, now would have been like, the 80s normies are like...
Michael goes up to the guy and he's like, is there any jobs around? He's like, nothing legal.
So
People are strange.
it was good, though. I enjoyed the opening of it. Was
Yeah. I liked that he had Enduro, because I owned an Enduro and I loved it so much. You don't even remember that motorcycle.
I'm glad you said that was a motorcycle. I was like, oh god, what is that? Is that a cigarette? Or like,
In the scene when they're getting ready for killing the vampires, and they go, you know, I think we can really relate to this. They go into the Catholic church and they're like having a baptism, and they're all in camo and they're like got their equipment, and they're just like getting all the holy water, and everyone's like, what the crap are they doing? And
we
it's
feel
like,
like we can relate to that. It
oh,
sounds
we've done
like,
that.
Like we went in church with our camo, like
Not the camo, but we've definitely went in the church and got holy water. And then everyone's looking, and I like when he's walking out, and he's like, yeah. Like they know, like, we're doing this.
I was very proud of the Frog Brothers. Like, they were in it and they weren't scared at all. They were like Rambo'd up.
They were, but then when they finally killed one, they got scared.
Oh, yeah.
And they ran out, and
Those
they
are
were
little
like,
kids. I'd be scared too. Like, we did it. We got one.
We got it.
Just
Let's go.
one.
Let's
Never
get
did
out of here.
that. So was this the original Home Alone?
this was original Home Alone.
I mean, really, they had set the house up with traps. Nobody's home. Like, if it was me, I would not have went back to the house. They can go. They keep bringing motorcycles up there. Like, they know where they live.
So I think they weren't trying to hide. I think they were.
I know
they
they weren't.
wanted to kill him.
Yeah, I would.
Because he goes up to him and he's like, Frog Brothers, like, we know where the head vampire is. Like, don't you want to, like, get this done and get it over with
Right.
and save Santa Carla?
I'm just saying, I wouldn't do that. Like, I would hide. Like,
But they would get you eventually.
I
Get them out. Get them before they get you.
couldn't. I would be scared. I'd be like, let's go hide. Like, that's the difference between you and me.
Let's go hide in a cave.
I would go hide
They would be in
somewhere.
there.
I would just hide.
Where? Where are you gonna hide? Where are you gonna go? Okay, you got your house. Let's say it happened right now, Kim. You're in Rockmart.
I
Where are you
would
gonna hide?
go to that little
Walmart?
church that I got married in. That little Van Hort church.
Mm-hmm.
Can vampires go there?
It varies in every movie.
So then I don't even know if I'd be safe there.
But what are you gonna do? You don't have water. You don't have food.
In the daylight, I can go out.
I think you should just kill him. I think you should just get it over
I'm
with.
a good killer. I can't even kill a fly.
She says that, and then I said last night, I said, okay, if your children are gonna die unless you killed someone, she's like, oh yeah, without a doubt, I'd kill them. But then she's like, I can't kill nobody. But your children are not safe. If you don't if you don't kill them, these vampires are gonna eat your children.
Okay, then I can kill them. But I wasn't thinking in terms of my kids being there. I was just thinking.
I mean, we're not talking like Kiss of the Vampire, Vampire Kiss with Nicolas Cage, where people think they're vampire. I'm a vampire. I'm a vampire. Like, these guys are bloodsuckers, man.
Yeah.
They're coming to get you.
Okay, I could kill them. It's just I need you there to be like, you can do this.
You can do this. So, with that being said, are there people that actually think they were vampires and killed people?
So, there's Elizabeth Bathory.
Mm-hmm.
So, she is the...
Story time.
Turn the lights down low. Turn the volume up. Elizabeth Bathory is known as one of the most prolific female serial killers because she was royalty, and so she decided that she wanted to stay young like most women do. So she thought, you know what, I think if I bathe in the blood of young girls, it'll keep me young. So in the town, just like Lost Boys, all of these children keep going missing. See the link there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that these children going missing because she's bringing them up to her place, and she's telling the parents like, oh, I'm going to like teach them etiquette and groom them, and you know, these are poor families, and they're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna send our children off to a better life, and they sent them off to the afterlife. So she kills these girls, and the estimates are from anywhere from like 650 to 800. Kills them and then bathes in their blood.
800 children?
Yeah.
Oh my god, what year was this?
This was last year. Just kidding.
This is during COVID.
Nobody noticed. So this was in the 1600s.
Wow.
Yeah. 800
children she bathed in?
They don't know exactly, but anywhere from 650 to 800.
And it didn't work. See, guys? Didn't work.
Yeah, blood is not...
That's creepy.
Yeah.
I can't believe she did that and got away with it.
I know. Because she had money, and they didn't. Money will buy you blood.
So is that why she got her last name? Bathory? Because she bathed?
I don't know, but that's how I always remembered her. When people are like, tell me about her, I'm like, oh, Bathory. Like, it really...
She bathies. She's a bathie.
Yeah. She was batty.
Batty with a bathy.
Movie. What intrigues me the most out of everything is that they eat. They eat Chinese food. If I was going to be a vampire, that would be... like one of my things is like
gotta have Chinese food.
Have Chinese food. And another thing, and we brought this up before, but I want to get on to you about it, is like he helps his brother when he finds out his brother's a vampire, and his brother's like, "Let me in." He's like, "Okay, I don't think you would help me out."
Well, we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk. I get it. I mean, David's out there trying to get him. He's got to get in. He's gonna fly away to the sun. Yeah. He doesn't know how to control himself. But I need to know. If you were like Michael, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe if you had like the process of turning,
right.
like you kind of did. Like, I guess I might let you in. For one, if you already live there, do I even need to let you in?
Well, because he was flying away. Right.
I'd let you in if you were just in the house like 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
And you're flying away like, okay, come back. You were already in here anyways. You didn't eat me. But if like I'm at my house in Tennessee asleep and you knock on my window
and I'm floating.
I'm gonna be a little weird out. I'm going to be like, is this even you? For one, there's so many monsters that like can look like other like loved ones and things like that, and they like creep you in.
There's so many monsters that look like you. You're just a typical monster anyway.
That's so funny. Every monster looks like you, Kim. I can't tell the difference. Freaking Bigfoot, Loch Ness,
Sasquatch.
Werewolf, Sasquatch. Like,
oh
Kim,
God.
is that you? I was watching a movie about you last night. It's called The Thing.
I know brothers like their sisters are hideous. But oh my God.
Wow.
Well, I and I think the other way, like, I would just I guess that's the problem with me is, like, I don't ask questions. Like, you're good. Like, I do applaud you for that because, like, you don't immediately, like, I'm more of an Ash Williams, like, act and then think. And
it all varies in the moment. Like,
Yeah.
okay, me and Hannah were watching this movie the other day, and this ghost like comes and whispers in their ear, and then the loved one wife goes to the husband and says, "Oh my God, there was this ghost and he like whispered in my ear and we got to get out of here." And the husband's like, "No, you were just seeing things." And Hannah's like, "Man, if you would have came to me and said, 'Hey, I'm seeing ghosts,' and they're like doing stuff, we would get the heck out of there." But then in reality, like a few months ago, I was in my office and I could have swore I heard someone say boo in the closet to me when I had the lights out. And Hannah was asleep and no one else was there. And then I told Hannah about it and she's like, "Oh, okay, like, I don't really believe you." And I'm like, "You literally said if I told you these situations that you would be like, let's get the heck out of here." But like in reality, you know, like she's like, "Well, maybe it's a good ghost. If it's a good ghost, then I don't care." But it's like, if this was a movie situation and it showed a creepy creature saying boo, and then, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's all like... It's all in perspective.
It's true. It's true.
My basement's creepy. I know that was awkward and weird and random. It is really creepy.
It's creepy. Everybody that's ever seen it.
It's got a creepy furnace from like the 50s in there.
That was so hard.
And it's even creepier than the Home Alone furnace.
Oh, yeah. Well, Home Alone furnace is like upper middle class
Yeah.
creepy, and yours is like...
Poor people. That's okay. You can say it. Mine's like, okay, you look like every monster, and I live in a crack house.
I was like, crap, this... Like, it came out, and I was like, shoot, where... I didn't even mean to...
I know I don't live in a mansion furnace.
I mean, that house... I mean, it's...
Just say it.
I'm gonna go cry now.
I live in a cave. That's what you're gonna tell me. The Lost Boys had a better house in their cave.
Your
than
house
us.
is nice. Like, your house is nice.
And then my basement.
Your basement's creepy. Is all I was saying.
Is it? It's creepier than the cave in Lost Boys, isn't it? It's okay.
I can answer that. The Lost Boys cave was pretty nice. Jim Morrison.
I know. It didn't have a furnace.
No, but I mean, I'm just gonna be quiet. Just keep digging a hole.
Speaking of hole digging, apparently there's treasure at our house. DB Cooper treasure.
Don't tell people that. They'll come dig your house.
I don't know. I live in Wisconsin.
Head cheese.
Head cheese. That's a reference to our last podcast.
It was going to be the name of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So just Wisconsin. That immediately is what comes to mind. Is
Yeah.
head cheese. I'm so sorry. You have a very nice house. I mean, your basement.
I'm sorry my house isn't 3 stories like yours. Sorry, your basement looks like a mansion. Mine looks like the gates of hell. Mine was made in the 50s.
Yeah.
Yours.
Mine was made last year. I'm just kidding.
It's very new.
Yeah. It's still haunted, though.
She has a bidet in the basement. I have dead bodies. She has a bidet. I have a dead knight. Bidet. I have a bidet. I try to make a joke there. We're so off subject.
We do it every time.
Every
Like, I don't even know what that episode was about. They said it was about Lost Boys.
If you tuned in for the Lost Boys podcast
We're sorry.
and accidentally got the bidet night podcast,
They're gonna come in, so he's gonna come in. What are you watching?
so tune in next time. We'll talk about another basement. So what is the next episode about?
My favorite.
Drum roll.
Halloween. It's my favorite. So I will probably be getting very excited. I will probably stay on topic more because it is my. I mean, I literally made my gender reveal about Halloween. I'm having a baby. Yes, I was thinking about this. So yeah, in the movie, the mom's on a date and the two brothers are at home, and the mom calls to check on him. And this is when he first finds out that Michael's turning into a vampire. And he's like, Mom, oh God, come on, Michael's trying to kill me. And the mom's like, oh God, I'm coming home now. And we were watching this movie with our mom, and Wolf was like, how many times did you get that phone call? Where
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you guys a story. Me and Kim used to fight a lot. We're 6 years apart. We would fight all the time. One time we got in a big fight. And
make sure they know I'm older, because then that makes it more...
Yeah,
like,
so she's older.
Like a big guy, like picking on a little
No,
girl.
I was like 12. And
I was a girl picking on a little
18. Boy. And we were fighting, and like we'd get little knives and be like, get out of here. And like, come on. And we never hurt each other, but we were fighting, and I forgot what you did. You did something to me. You like sat on me and wouldn't let me get up, and I was just stuck. And then I went to call Mom, and I was like, Mom, like Cam's trying to kill me. And then she unhooked all the phones. It was like a horror movie, like, you know, when you like call the police and then it just hangs up and you're just like, crap, she knows I'm on the phone, I don't know what to do. And then she goes around the house and gathers all the phones and then locks herself in the room. And I think you go and you have the only phone and call Mom, and you're like, oh yeah, everything's good, everything's great. And I'm like, oh my God.
True story.
True story. And that's what happened to Lost Boys. And then I think
Did you think our mom came home, like when Wolf originally was like, oh God, she's trying to kill me? Did our mom come home?
No, she's like... And then I think, so we didn't both get in trouble, like at the end, just like in Lost Boys.
Yeah.
She gets home, she's like, what was all that? And we're just like, oh, nothing. Like,
and then we're best friends.
Yeah, we're cool. No.
Meanwhile, like, you have a gash in your head, and threw a block at you, and
Yeah.
you needed stitches, and...
That's why I'm who I am today.
Forget things.
Like, wait, what are we doing?
He's a blockhead.
What are we talking about? I am a blockhead.
I'm just kidding.
Literally.
Sorry I, like, was mean to you.
Sorry I pretended to stab you.
Sorry.
Hope y'all enjoyed this podcast. I enjoyed it.
I did too. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Good night or good day. I don't know when you're watching this. Bye!
True horror with Wolf and a Mummy.